All right, we're going to look at Yang here real quick. This is a direction 3 times bear for China. Okay, so I currently have it from what I mailed out and posted to the public back in September, and that to start buying down here. I don't know, it was just mechanical. You know, the unbalanced volume was down here. All right, so the swings, I had horizontal lines. The yellow lines here are quadrants. Okay, so it's just divided into fourths or fifths, I'm not sure. I have some extra lines on here. So I have a swing. The first one is about 18, it says 1875. That would be about a 40% move from the bottom to the top, all right? That's the first target I'm looking for. Can it continue? Well, I mentioned clouds. This is a weekly, all right? So I would use the shadow in here for resistance and coming into time. So if time goes by and it's say up to 2020 area, I'd look for it to be a pause, okay? Or basically the end of the move and possible reversal. I would also be in the middle part of the area here. Now switching over to, let's take a look here. I think I have a daily on here. Okay, so right here. Okay, so here's a daily with the cloud. So the cloud now was acting as resistance, or an area here where it runs into, on the way down, an area where reversals can happen. See here, also hit in the cloud. The cloud was actually resistance. It rode the cloud down here and then turned up. Now remember that the this is traded in China, or this is, the underline is China, okay? So the gappiness is what's happening in Asia. So what's trading here, it's down a quarter, okay? So what that's saying is that China will actually be up this evening, Friday, if it's, I believe, if the market's open. So what I would do is I would treat the cloud as a support area, which means that if this still continues to have a bullish tint to it, or bias, you may have to stomach a move down to 15. Now that would alleviate some of the unbalanced volume. As you can see, even on the way down, unbalanced volume wasn't as high as it is now. Okay, so basically I'd look at it, I would lean more that we would see 15 before we saw 21, 22 for right now with this. But it's thinly traded, thinly traded. Like, you know, we have 300,000 so far today on it. Let's take a look here, break this down even further. Okay, so I trade off of weeklies. Okay, that keeps me in. I can put my stops at the bottom there of a weekly bar, that kind of thing, instead of a daily. Daily, to me, they're just a little too close. All right, so you can see that there's a lot of bodies in Yang, and it would be susceptible to a pullback. I'd use this cloud area, the line here, because it's going to come off the line as basically hugging support. Okay, pivot is, these are pivots all the way through November, so that's, the pivot's actually on the cloud too. 1472, then 16 where we're at now, and the next level. I wrote on the weekly up in this area for the swing, okay, and that would be first target area. As you can see here though, there's a lot of volume down below here, so I'll treat that as support. So there was a lot of people that were interested. Here though, it's becoming to be obvious. The next level up in here would be in the mid-20s if we get a swing higher. If I break this down to like a 2 hour, I'll do a 2 hour if I'm looking for some sort of washout. Because as you can see here is the Yang on the daily went into this, the red with the unbalanced volume, and now it's beginning to roll over, okay? So on a short-term basis, you know, here's 1560, 1580. You could see where, you know, you could actually move down into this area with pivot, okay? And just intraday for tomorrow, the up here would be 1757 and 1871 if there's follow through. Now looking at China in particular, okay, this I believe has not been updated for today. It'll be updated this afternoon. Okay, so here's China for today. Okay, so China, we have bottom, just like most global indexes, bottomed in late winter. Okay, we're trading higher. Okay, as you can see, it's working its way into a swing, and now on a daily, it ran into R2. Okay, basically in a pattern like this, you can see that it's beginning to get exponentially. Is this logged chart? It is a logged chart. Okay. So the angle of ascent, okay, from basically here, we're at a 45-degree angle, which is typical. Now the angle of ascent is increasing. So the Shanghai index could be susceptible here to a pullback to around 3150. I'm not sure where it closed at today. So, but then looking at a weekly, the whole China thing before, it was an easy peg up in here because you could just see it on the TV and things of that nature. I didn't take the breakout here because it had been beaten up for so long. Shame on Kevin. But when the talk popped up here, then all of a sudden there's Asher and FXI and all those fun ones. But basically here this is a weekly, this is into the cloud area. So this would be, you can see how it bounced off here first as resistance, shadowed the cloud, and now we're swinging higher. To me, this is beginning to look like Japan. This peak will probably last for a while. Yes, it's the 50%, but if you go back even further, say on a monthly, you can see where we've been. Okay, so this is 05, so this is the commodity rally, the unwind. One more attempt, that was the tease for me here. Okay, and then we're basically, if like I said, this Russia, all but Japan, it cracks the lower end here. Let's take a look here. That'll work. So it's at 3088. So 3088 on the Shanghai. I'd look for a reversal here and then come down to this area. So basically, to lose a third to a half on it. Basically have a swing high and a failure. Yeah, they are growing just like India and that, but what I see here is just basically at best a larger sideways pattern. I mean, we're talking a decade here. Okay, so I would be more inclined, though. If we do get a swing higher here, okay, and all of a sudden we see that chicken farmers are once again flipping stocks in the barn on CNN, that will be your sign, okay? And don't put it past, you have a billion people, right? And that kind of thing. And the oddball one that I learned is down in China is displayed as a green number and up is a red number. So when we're talking about cognitive dissonance, that's kind of an interesting deal there too, huh? So, but that's basically it for right now. I'll update these this evening and do a global index again too. If American indexes can hold their highs on here, there should be carryover into Asia and into Europe. But we shall see. I'm looking for like a 6-to-1, 8-to-1, 9-to-1 ratio of issues up, down, and then walk home with some puts. Once again, just massive short covering on the little things, little pink dots. So there you have it. We'll take a look again at Yang. Let's see if I can see something a little bit volume-wise. Nothing in there. They ran it all the way up, and then we have a chop, chop, chop here. Okay. So here we have for targets here. So it's at basically S2. I use previous days things too. So here you're into the 15s. So it basically comes down to if you want to be a dip buyer and buy in the 15s area. That's basically what your choice is. In theory, you would wait for it to take out a high here and go with it that way. Instead of buying, you're adding on the dip, but it's the whole knife deal here. So you need to add to winners, not to losers. It's a saying, but it's one of those roughies. Some of us continue to add to losers, and it doesn't work out. Like I said, here's 1580, 1560 pivot. That would be your area to support if you want to come in here and buy the dip kind of thing. All right, there you have it. That was Yang and China.